Nocterra issue number 4. This is from Image Comics. And yeah, if you guys want to know what's been going on with this series, I did do a review on issue 3, and I basically recapped everything from the previous issues. But I guess for a really short, quick summary, there was an event called the Big PM. Basically, the sun got blotted out or disappeared. It's been perpetual darkness. And inside the darkness, or in the dark, people get infected by this virus that basically turns them into grotesque monsters. And it's not just people, but people, plants, animals, everything that stays in the dark for, I believe it's 10 hours, gets turned into these monsters. And yeah, there's been perpetual darkness for 20 years. And our main character is Val, and she's currently escorting a girl named Bailey along with her brother who's infected. And Bailey has a book from her grandfather that apparently is supposed to have the key to how to bring the sunlight back. And there we go. That's pretty much what's been happening. The cliffhanger in the last issue was that her brother got really infected to the point where his eyes started flashing yellow. And at that point, that's basically you're past the point of no return. So we'll see if that actually happens. So we start off with the flashback. And we start off with Val, our main character, and her adopted brother, Emery, who I just call M. And basically, this is day 5 after the Big PM. Their parents are infected, and their parents are locked in the basement. Val and Emery have put out a bunch of lanterns and lights and stuff around the house to try to keep them lit. They've been hearing broadcasts that basically there are refugee centers in like arenas and stuff like that. So basically the military has been doing sweeps around the neighborhood, or at least that's what the broadcasts have been saying. But by day 6, all the broadcasts have ended and the military has never showed up. So Val wants to get the hell out. She basically packs her bags with food and drinks, and she wants to take her dad's gun and get the hell out of there. M, on the other hand, wants to stay, and he wants to wait for the military to show up and for someone to pick them up and save them. He keeps saying I hear trucks and stuff nearby. Maybe it's them. Like, let's stay here. And Val really just wants to get the hell out. The power is going to disappear. We got to go now. M basically pulls out the dad's gun. Turns out that he has it. And he basically says, we always do your things your way. We're going to do things my way this time. So yeah, basically M kind of F's them over. The power goes out. They're stuck in the darkness in their own house. All they have is a little flashlight. And M doesn't want to leave because he's a little baby. So then we cut to the present day where M is basically infected. And it's really, really bad. Meanwhile, Val and Bailey are still driving. And they're showing up to this place called Tipton. And basically this city was a place where all the airlines sent their unclaimed luggage. And in this place is a friend of Val's who claims to have a solar lamp. Basically, it's a lamp that would be able to fight off the infection and keep M human for a little while longer. So Val's plan is to basically keep M alive long enough for them to get to the sanctuary where they will have sunlight and they will be able to use the sunlight to cure M. So that's their destination. So they make a pit stop at Tipton, and this is where we get our first few action scenes where they're kind of just walking around through the area, and then they get attacked by some of these shades, and Valve has to shoot them. And they look around, and they're able to find one of these solar lamps. So they take the solar lamp, and as soon as they open up the rig, Emery, who's infected, attacks, but they use the flash of the solar lamp, and it basically temporarily holds back the shade, turns him back to his normal self, and yeah, he's still infected, but at least he's still human for the time being. Meanwhile, they put him in the truck, and they make a pit stop to fuel up, and Val basically informs Bailey, like, hey, the harpoons that Blacktop Bill used to shoot our truck in the previous issue, they've pretty much destroyed our battery. Like, our battery can't hold a charge worth a damn. We have just enough to get to the sanctuary. However, if there's nothing there, then we're screwed because we don't have enough to get back. So, what do you think, Bailey? Like, Val is going to go regardless because she has no other choice. There's nothing that she can do to save her brother other than sunlight, which will be at this place, assuming this place exists. Meanwhile, she tells Bailey, like, you can stay here. Like, there's a lot of lights here. There's a area here where there's, like a radio. Basically, it's a panic room. It has a radio. It has a VCR. It's well lit. You can stay here and you could survive. But if you come with me, there's a chance that your grandfather was lying. There's a chance that, he was wrong. And when we show up to the place, there's not going to be anything there, in which case we're screwed. So what do you want to do? And Bailey decides, I'm gonna go with you. We're gonna risk this. So basically, this is a risk it all. So they hop in the truck and they make their way to their destination, hoping that there is a sanctuary there. Because if not, then they're dead. Meanwhile, we see Bricktop Bill, and he is an interesting character. He is completely covered in blackness. I'm assuming he's a shade. You can't see anything but his teeth. Like, the only thing that shows up are his teeth. You can't see any facial features. He's just a humanoid black blob with teeth. And he's driving in his car trying to chase down Val. And strapped to the roof of his car is Gus, who is Bailey's grandfather, who we saw get harpooned in the previous issue. And yeah, he's now infected. He's now a human shade strapped to the car of Bricktop Bill. So Bricktop Bill lived up to his threat, where he basically told Gus, like, I'm going to strap you to my car until you become infected, and I'm going to release you on your granddaughter for you to kill her. And yeah, so the first part has come true. Whether he goes after, kills his granddaughter, I guess we'll find out in the future. But yeah, in the meantime, we cut back to Val and Bailey, and we got like a little bonding moment where Val was kind of teaching Bailey like how to be a rigger. For anyone in charge of YouTube and stuff out there, I said rigger with an R, R-I-G-G-E-R, basically a big rig driver. She basically tells her like, hey, like if you want to be like me and drive the trucks and all that stuff, you need a name, and your rig name is the thing that you hate the most. So Val's rig name is Sundogs. And the reason why is because she considers Sundog to be fake sunlight. And when she was young, she was pretty much blind, but sometimes she would see a little bit of sunlight, like sneak through, kind of like a flash, but then it would disappear again. And that's what she sees. Like, Sundogs kind of like remind her of that moment, and she hated that moment of her life. So that's why she picked that. And yeah, eventually they kind of reach their destination. It's still a couple hundred meters ahead, but the battery for the truck is dead, so they have to hoof it on foot. And yeah, basically this is it. This is where, like, okay, we got to set out on foot. We can use the headlight of our truck for a little while to keep us in the light, but other than that, we're going to be out there in the darkness, and we have to pray that your grandfather was telling the truth and that there is a sanctuary out there, because if not, then this is it. This is where we go. This is where we die. So yeah, I'm actually going to stop you here, and whether they find the sanctuary or not, whether there's anything out there or not, what happens next, I'll leave for you guys to find out by reading this issue. So we're about halfway through the issue, and yeah, let's just say that the rest of the issue is really damn interesting. I'm not going to spoil it though, because I never like to spoil any of my reviews. I usually just talk about the first half of the issue, and then I leave the rest for you guys to discover on your own. So yeah, if you want to figure out what happens, check out this issue, and I highly do recommend it. This series has been really good so far. Like, I've really enjoyed it. It's I mean, it's one of those I'm gonna probably constantly be doing reviews for every issue. Just that's how much I like it. I would say not Nocterra, the Ninja Turtles, Last Ronin, Ultra Mega, Shadecraft. Those are the series that I'm like really looking forward to every month and checking out. So yeah, I highly recommend Nocterra. It's been a great 4-issue run so far. Hopefully the next issue is just as good and the series continues to be just as good. We'll see. But so far there hasn't been an issue that I've been disappointed with. I would give this issue an 8.5 out of 10. And overall, in general, the series, yeah, probably about an 8.5 out of 10. Like it's really good. I don't want I want to give it something higher, but I'm still waiting to see how it ends, because the ending can always make or break a series. But so far, this has been awesome. Like, I've really enjoyed this series. So do check it out if you're looking for something new to read. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me what you guys think. If you have any recommendations for comics, let me know. If it's an ongoing thing, just give me a good jumping on point. And if it's something with just like a few issues out already, I can catch up on that. Also, give me a recommendation for a manga if you guys want. I haven't been reading manga for the past month or so since Manga Dex went down. I know there's other scanlation sites I can go to, but Manga Dex has all of my issues, all of my bookmarks, and where I left off. And it's just a lot easier to just wait for them to get that back up so I can continue where I left off, rather than having to try to find them all on another site, especially since I don't even remember most of the names of the series. Like, I know them once I start reading them, but I don't remember their names because they're all like in Japanese and I don't read Japanese, so I couldn't find half of the stuff that I've been reading. So now, yeah, I'm just kind of rambling, but I hope you enjoy, and I hope to see you next time. Later. So what'd you guys think of that video? I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe, hit that bell for a notification, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlist that you guys see, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later.